What is up guys, Wraec here with a new video, and today we're going to take a look at Marcille. Marcille essentially has been the star of this delicious in dungeon collab. We did a live stream summoning her, testing her in PvP, and today I want to show you guys my favorite PvP team that I like to use with Marcille. Also, we're going to have a giveaway. Very kindly, the LD shop has given me a few things to give away, which will be in this video too, so stay tuned for that. Very nice of them. Thanks again for that. And then we're going to go into the normal arena and we're going to see what Marcille can do there, because personally I haven't really tested in normal arena yet, and I'm really eager to test that against a few people just on my server. So that is definitely something we have to do. Before that though, we have to address the elephant in the room. Yeah, she is just plus 24. I ran out of Twilight Essence. We have 50 Twilight Essence. Too little to get her to plus 25 and get her to crown. So yeah, we have the P4 Marcille now. P4 Marcille. Is P4 Marcille worth it? Maybe we answer that question at the beginning. Well, it's a tough one to do. Really, I haven't seen a lot of AFK stage use for her. I don't see her in Dream Realms. She seems to get out-damaged by Chimera. Maybe at the start of the season when we kind of have less defenses on the enemy, it could be more interesting to fight with a hero that doesn't really have true damage, but a ton of magic damage at that. But I don't really know. For PvP, she's great though, and let's focus on that. What is the main thing? Well, we were concerned about her being kind of a jack of all trades, because we have like damage over here. The ult is kind of a channeled ult. She doesn't do anything else during the ult. She doesn't use those abilities right here. She had some CC and then some heal, and then this very weird ability where she can revive an ally. And overall, I was like, if you have a hero that does so many things, they are kind of prone to just, well, being not good at anything really. Just doing everything mediocre isn't really cutting it anymore in AFK Journey. But she does something else very well. Maybe we take a look at that. So let's just head into a fight right here. We're going to fight against Turtle Legs. And this, in fact, is a variation of my favorite team. It is not in fact my favorite team, but it shows the damage that she can deal quite well. So maybe keep an eye out on the enemy team. And that's Half-Life gone basically on all enemies. There we got the ult, and you can see how that just deletes enemies. The ult is so insane, we're going to watch it again. The first hit is this explosive spell. You can see how that really nearly killed off that Bonnie. And that is not a small Bonnie. Then the ult comes, you barely see it, and the fight is already over. 5-second fight. That is an absolute menace. That's not on double speed, by the way. That's not on double speed. This is a crown Bonnie. If this Bonnie were like P3, she would have been one-shot by this explosive ability. This is just this explosive spell. That is what she does at the start. Places it in the area with the most enemies, 1-tile radius, so pretty big AoE, pretty huge hit. And in this team, we also channeled some energy to her through Theta. Of course, buffed the attack here with Revion, as I thought that with like those heroes she does in general pretty well. Is this like representative? I guess we're going to get the most representative test in a second. What I noticed, and what can sometimes happen, is that she struggles against some enemies. In particular, stuff like Cider. Because if you defeat Cider, what happens? Well, she revives. The only way to really get rid of Cider, and in some cases, most often also Igor, here it only works because we can deal this massive amount of damage to the enemies and essentially keeps Igor from getting too many tombstones. But against the Cider, this is not necessarily the case. And what you then really want is really something that can take care of those heroes too. So what can take care of those heroes? Well, the best way to take care of something like a Cider, which is now really a meta PvP hero, we have to say it, is not raw damage. Raw damage can be good. I mean, if Cider spawns, gets one shot, that works in general. But at one point you might face that or another active skill by her, and then just her starting to CC your whole team could be very fatal. So you want to really have an executability. So the hero that I really like to use her with, or she's already there, is really Cryonaya. Seems a little bit weird, seems a little bit like a madness, because Cryonaya is usually a hyper carry, as people call it. But I really like to use her to clean up, because it makes it so easy. Because she has this ability where basically when she is in her ult, she gains a huge shield, and then starts attacking 3 enemies, and once those enemies fall below a certain HP threshold, they are instantly executed and defeated. And this skips all of the revives of Cider. So even if Cider has like 2 more revives, she won't use them, she will be done. And we can try this out, for example, against Atraxi. Against Atraxi, I tried to use a different variation of this team, which is very, very interesting too. Less of a burst version. What I used right here was basically a team where I said, okay, I want to use heroes that I don't use on any other team I use in Supreme Arena at the moment. So I came up with this one, which is basically 3 Lightbearers. So you could use this with a faction skill, get yourself the Teseo in there. We have Hugin just for some attack buffs over here. And what we are trying to do is basically not even get the big damage here with the Marcille. We take it when it comes, but we want to keep the enemy from attacking our Cryonaya and get the ult with Cryonaya off without having a Pandora or anything on the team. And I will show you how this looks essentially. And the good thing is you have so much damage at the start of the fight that the enemy Athalia will basically attack your Marcille. So that is really, really good. We'll then go on to attack the Zenny, and you have enough time. And look at that. That was like 10 seconds of Cryonaya surviving without like really having any heal at the Rowan there. And we get the execute on the side, and you saw all of those little seeds were still there. We can replay it one more time. All of the seeds were still there. We'll do double speed till like the relevant point, probably more around here. So we even get like a seed there. Gets into the ult. Starts attacking the Cider, and of course the Cider we can take off. We have huge damage to take care of other enemy units, and then just get the execute 1, 2 seeds still there. So she could have revived 2 more times, but with the execute that works. And in general, not in this specific team order. This was just a team where I thought, okay, let's see if I can make another team basically for Supreme Arena that doesn't use the heroes. But in general, I just wanted to see, can we keep off enemy Athalias and everything from Cryonaya by using Marcille? And that is the tactic that I found to be most successful for now. I want to point out one more thing. We have the situation right here actually with Marcille and this Burial, that we have a situation at the start of the fight. Keep an eye out there. And he's gone. Yeah, I want to show it you one time. Look at the Burial. Bam. That's so funny. How it just like one-shots it with the flame ability. So that is the thing that I did, and I wanted to keep up with like another team. So using this again, we can attack Turtle Legs for this. The team that I used is a Wilder version. So I wanted to do like a Wilder team, and the Wilder team basically looks like this. We're using Thador here to provide energy to Cryonaya. We're using Ravion for some extra CC immunity, and in Arena we would be fine actually using any of the artifacts really. We could go with Enlightening Spell for a little bit of a faster ult on Cryonaya. We can go with Confining Spell. Both work either way. We can go with Confining for this one maybe. The only problem that I have right now here on this team is that we just have this P2 Ravion is a little bit low, P3 Thador as well. It's not really like super endgame-ish PvP, where I probably want to have P4 right now. Especially P2 Ravion. I don't even know. I was super unlucky in Epic Sums. But let's take a look at that and see how this team deals in general with like the enemy over here. Get a decent chunk of energy already at the start. Get off big damage with Marcille, get off the ult. And now we are there that we get the Cryonaya ult. Callan keeping us safe. And yeah, that should be some easy executes. And with that we are done. So pretty full HP on all of our heroes still. And what you also can see is we don't use the Cryonaya to deal the bulk load of damage. That is not the intended thing. We want to get them low so that they get into the execute range of Cryonaya. The shorter our Cryonaya ult is essentially, the better, because that's less chance of our Cryonaya being defeated and getting hit with some kind of true damage or something that could get through our shield. So that was really the idea. Get the big explosive damage going. If we can also go ahead and get ourselves some hits with the ult. That is very nice. We have some heal already in her. You can see like we have, after chanting for 2 seconds, generates a magical flash of light around an ally surrounded by enemies. So that's mostly our frontmost ally really. And blinding them, and we get like a nice bit of heal here as well. It's not really like good here because targeting is a little bit weird, but it works overall. The revive, by the way, never seen the revive in all of my PvP testing. So much for the value of this ability, by the way. Never seen the revive. It takes apparently forever. I've not seen it once yet in multiple hours of testing. So it's a little bit weird. Before we hop into the arena, maybe let's talk about this giveaway. So you guys may already know LD Shop. For the people that don't, that's your cheapest source of dragon crystals. And right now, LD Shop has provided me with a wonderful opportunity to make a giveaway for you guys. Essentially, 6 people from my comments will win a Classic Gazette. All you need to do that is basically to comment under this video, say, I want the Classic Gazette. You can see how it's written right there. I want the Classic Gazette, and write your LD Shop UID. You will find your LD Shop UID after registering an account, which I recommend you do through the link in the description, because that will give you a 15% and a 5% discount coupon for future purchases. Just by going up to your account, going to the personal center over here, clicking that, and then you are just in this screen, and here you'll find your UID with the wonderful button to instantly copy it. So that makes it very, very easy for you to participate in this giveaway. Also, they still have this Black Friday offer at the moment, where when you spend over, I would run away, where you spend over 80 USD in a single purchase, you get a 5 USD voucher, so make sure you do that. The winners will be drawn on Friday, so the upcoming Friday, which is the 7th of December. So stay tuned for that. At the end of the day, on the 6th will actually be the end of the participation period. All the details you will find down in a pinned comment. So definitely read through that so that you don't miss out on it. And I wish you all the best of luck for that giveaway. So now what I really want to do though is to start a little bit of arena. I want to see if we can bring some pain to our enemies in there. I'm currently still place 1. Okay, will apparently stay place 1 for quite some time. They defeated me recently. But I adjusted my team. So yeah, that brought a little bit of struggle back. Apparently didn't take that too well. It's starting to go in there with Mihira. But we bring the new meta. So let's see if we can find somebody. Let's attack place 2 instantly. I guess that's the fairest thing that we can do. We got an Athalia team here. We got Chimera. We got overall pretty high Paragon, some P2s in there, some P3s. But what I like to see about this, and don't tell this guy, very, very, very dense placement. So that means our if explosive spell is going to hit hard. I like to see that. So I guess we're going to go for pretty dense placement here as well, I reckon. Something like this. Wait. We need the energy over here. So yeah, I like that. Do we go with some CC or do we want to go for full on damage? That is the question, I think. Not too sure if we want to go with Enlightening. I mean, the attack speed is certainly nice. That would help us get a little bit more damage on there. I mean, we can also kind of synergize here a little bit. She also has like a ton of attack speed that she buffs herself with. But we would have to swap those two, I reckon. Okay. Yeah, let's go with Confining for the moment. And let's see how much damage this first hit really does. I'm really excited to see that. The first hit from Marcille on that enemy team. That should be fairly exciting. Okay, we got no triple speed going on. And can we take off? I really don't want to get hit by the Chimera ult. That could hurt. Take away, take away, take away. Not good. Okay, we got the ult, but we're not safe. We're not safe, actually. That did less damage than I anticipated, if I'm honest. That's so close. Come on! No, she got full HP again. Oh no, we lost the first fight. That is so annoying. Oh no, that was so bad. That was so bad. That was horrible. Nobody saw that. Let's try that again. I think the team can win. It's just that we got like fairly heavily hit by the enemy Chimera. I don't think that really our Confining spell did a whole lot here. The Athalia wasn't really the enemy. If we had defeated the Pandora immediately, I don't think we would have had quite that big of a problem going through there. I think that would have worked out a little bit better, actually. We could, of course, place Dunlinger, but I don't really want to. I wonder if like, the artifact change would already be enough. So we get the big hit. Chimera comes out. We get our ult. And that's better. Because we got the execute now. So that was more the intended way. The timing now was better. Really, the difference is insane. I don't really like how that Chimera still ulted, honestly. But like the timing now was a whole lot better. Didn't really get a whole lot of damage off. So I think honestly the extra speed on the Cryonaya is needed. I doubt we would need that if we had like Revion a little bit higher upgraded. Because that would have actually, because like yes, now we're probably still in a Paragon advantage overall. Are we? Yeah, small Paragon advantage. I mean, this is a Celestial Hypergene. So they are a little bit higher at P3 than our regular P3s. But still, yeah, it's a little bit of a Paragon advantage. It would help, definitely. It would help. So I guess we're probably going to win this fairly consistently now. Okay, so let's see what else we can do. I mean, against Shrimp we've already now fought, so that works out. In general, like, we are fairly fast with that team. We can face Athalia fairly well, so I guess that is okay. What do we have here? Zadama? No, we don't want to attack. Okay, Calevra we can try. I think against something like this we are also fairly well set. The thing is, this is like a Tazi team, focusing on Bonnie too. Overall pretty damage resistant because they have like the Ludovic in there. It would be interesting to counter the Ludovic with like a Dunlinger here, but we don't want to do that. So I think because we have like the big execute with the Cryonaya, I think we have fairly good chances to make this work overall. Cryonaya still with fairly slow energy gain. We are hitting on the enemies quite a lot. Ooh, look at that! Before we even get to that, we get the second execute here, of course. Against Tazi, very strong because the ult doesn't actually end when she enters her mode. So, as we are also unaffected during that, and she can't ult. Yeah, very good to shut that down. So overall, pretty good shutdown of that team. There are teams, however, where we can struggle a little bit. Maybe I can show you that, because that is like really a little bit stupid if we face that. Yeah, last refresh. Okay, we have to fight Shrimp one more time. But we can see if this works one more, and then we will do one more after, because I want to show you a team with Dunlinger, where I really have to say that is not an ideal matchup. We don't really want to fight enemy Dunlingers. That's also still fairly close. Cryonaya coming out with the ult. We still have them on like fairly low life, so that we get with the immediate burst of energy, we get the execute. So that works out. That works out. So this was really just about the speed. And there's one more team that I really want to show. I hate this RNG thing. Like, we have to refresh the entire time. Just show me a team. My god. There we go. This team is really bad. Like, honestly. Sorry. This is like really bad. It's like Supreme plus Twins in there. Like, how horrible can it get? And then we have like Siren, which is good. I can see like a Bonnie, of course, okay. Combination Bonnie Siren is okay. Dunlinger is there. We would lose against this team. We have heavy Paragon advantage. We would lose against this team. That's the thing. Like, she really doesn't do too well when she can't use her ult. And obviously, if our team relies on Cryonaya being able to defeat the enemy, neither will we. Because when we can't do ults and the enemy can do ults, well, then we are going to lose if we rely on the Cryonaya ult after 5 seconds when we can't use her. Because, well, then Dunlinger will still shut us down. The team that I used against Atraxi was this one. I don't even know if this would work in normal arena. Like, we could try that. I don't mind trying that, actually. But I'm not really sure if this is actually going to work. Do we keep that like that? I've never used this on the attack speed tile. That seems kind of fancy. Okay, okay. Let's keep it right there. I just want to show. I wanted to make sure. How did I use that? Okay, it was like this. Okay, makes sense. This was just the way that I used it against the Traxi. I don't even want to guarantee that this works. We have our artifact blocked, of course, by the enemy Siren, which is a little bit horrible. But overall, yeah, let's just try it. I don't know. We have more damage with this team, so I'm carefully optimistic. Very carefully optimistic. If that Siren could go away, that would be very nice. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I think it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Really, her performance overall, I wouldn't say is really great. We have still big damage, and I guess she's hit less than Cryonaya, who really doesn't do a whole lot without her ult. But it's not what you're looking for with Marcille. Marcille against Dunlinger is a tough fight, and obviously this fight was way tougher than it should have been. So that is what I definitely wanted to give you. I want to tell you, not really good against Dunlinger, high value against normal enemies. And we had a very interesting test, and that's the last thing I want to show in this video, where we tried her out against Chimera. So the test was very easy. It was essentially this team, this fight right here. This team is my normal Pact Bond team with Chimera. We had like the Pandora in here, and overall it's just a Pact Bond team designed to just provide very, very good damage mitigation. Shouldn't use it against a Siren, but we have Ludovic and Callan, and together with Pact Bond that basically makes you invincible. So the fight usually looks like this, where we are pretty much super tanky and just have very easily enough time to get our Chimera ult off, and with a very nice timing here, so that actually we get the Chimera ult also not countered by the Lily May, which is very, very nice. And you can see how tanky this team really is. We have a enemy Chimera attacking us here, which is super insane that we can take this like that without any struggles at all. And the key to this is obviously that that our allies all stay very well together within that Callan ult, where they also healed very well by the Ludovic. So that obviously turns out to work very well, and we get to enjoy the wonderful Chimera skin. So this team was like the first one that I checked out. And the idea was, what happens when I replace Chimera with Marcille? And we will just hop into that fight, and I want to surprise you and how it really worked out in the end. So obviously no Dunlinger in the enemy team, so this works. We start off with the ult and keep an eye on those enemies. Just take a look at the enemy HP bars and what happens now. So she starts her ult, Skyfish comes out, enemy HP bars start to vanish. Start to absolutely vanish. So with Pandora in theory in this team, I came to the conclusion overall that she did better. We compared the times, and she was like 2 seconds faster in clearing out that enemy team than the Chimera was. 1 or 2 seconds, I don't quite remember. And so that was a very interesting test that I definitely still want to show you, one of the more interesting ones that we did in there. Do I think like she's the new OP hero? I think she was overhyped. I'll be honest, I think she was overhyped. There's a lot of situations where she doesn't quite perform that great. She has like huge burst damage, and you can utilize that, of course, to build some quite menacing teams. But the utility of her damage is quite low. We have pretty much standard magic damage without any form of CC that is really prevalent in there. And we don't really have an execute. We don't really have true damage. So it's just very big magic damage, and that is good for what it is. It is a lot of magic damage. That is essentially all there is to it. Without her being immune like a Diana, without her getting huge shield and execute abilities like a Cryonaya, without having something like the Siren where he blocks artifacts and pulls the enemies together, which can have huge value, or a Kulu that builds this wall and really tries to keep her area of the map clean. She doesn't have this kind of utility, just throws a lot of damage at the enemy. And that's cool. I like that. I don't hate that. I have her at P4. I don't regret that. I will try to find more teams with her. I will try to have some fun with her. I probably see her in a few Supreme Arena teams, because a lot of damage is not a bad thing. And I think that's all I can say for now. Definitely participate in that giveaway. And other than that, I just wish you guys a great day, and we'll see us in the next one.